Ragatha from the Amazing Digital Circus and Purple from Animation vs. Minecraft are from two pretty different series, but these two characters surprisingly have quite a few parallels. Let's first talk about Ragatha.
Don't worry, President Pomni. I believe you can do this.
In the pilot, she's seen being a very cheerful and positive character, being the most supportive to Pomni adapting to this digital world, but then later Pomni kind of abandons her, running off from the abstracted Kaufmo. In episode 2 though, Ragatha is still friendly and tells Pomni that there was no hard feelings. Throughout the episode, we can see her being kind to Pomni, kind of being overly kind.
I'm not a child, you don't have to hype me up.
While Pomni is just trying to adapt to this world. But at the end of episode 3, after Pomni goes on an adventure with Kinger, and also from the last episode seeing how much everyone cares for each other, she goes up to Ragatha and thanks her for always trying to be there for her. But this isn't the end of Ragatha's arc. Again, Ragatha is always this cheerful, positive character who's always trying to look on the bright side, and it's not just with Pomni, because in the very next episode, episode 4, we can see her trying to help Gangle, and then getting in a fight with Jax. Yeah, the only character she's not nice to is Jax. Gee, I wonder why most of the people don't like Jax. Anyways, during the adventure, we get this from Gangle.
Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but after a while, it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
Ragatha has definitely put on a mask, hiding her true emotions in favor for always being positive. Well, except when she gets stupid sauce in this episode, which kinda causes her to become drunk and share her true thoughts. But this stupid sauce effect only lasts for this episode. And in episode 5, we get some lore about Ragatha, some background information, where she says this.
My mother, well, my mother was a lot. I certainly don't miss the yelling, the braiding, and guilt tripping, and the... Yeah, just kind of a farm girl.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ragatha's mother wasn't the best, potentially being abusive, or at least verbally abusive. And we can definitely see the effects as when Ragatha crashes out at Jax at the end of the episode, with Pomni seeing the whole situation. After that happens, when Pomni goes to confront her again, we can see Ragatha immediately brace for impact, worried that Pomni was gonna yell at her because she crashed out earlier. But Pomni doesn't do that, she's nice. But interestingly, Pomni is starting to like Jax. Jax of all people, the one that's super mean. But the thing is, Jax is showing his true self. Well, later we learned that that's not the case, but still, it doesn't feel like he's hiding stuff and trying to be positive all the time. He's just being funny, and Pomni likes that. Whereas with Ragatha, it feels like she has to put on this happy mask all the time. But hey, in the next episode, episode 6, Pomni goes up to Ragatha to be on her team. It's a 2v2v2, so Pomni wants to be a team with Ragatha. But Ragatha doesn't want to leave Kinger alone with Jax, and there's a whole discussion about that. But right before Pomni leaves...
Hey, Pomni? If you ever need to talk to somebody, or need help with anything, I'm here.
And Pomni just kind of gives an awkward thumbs up. And then later, Ragatha is eliminated and put into this dark room. Kinger also then eventually loses all of his lives and is sent to the loser room as well, being the second defeated. And this is where Ragatha and Kinger get a really good scene together. Kinger can see that Ragatha's upset and asks if she wants to talk about it. But Ragatha then rants that she feels like she failed Pomni, just like how she failed Jax. She wants everyone to be happy, but she doesn't want people to hate her.
Try too hard to get on their good side, and then I just end up pushing them away. And then they end up hating me.
And Kinger says that sometimes you just have to give people space, that friendship and love is a two-way street.
It sounds to me like you put a lot of pressure on yourself to be there for everyone, and when you're not, you beat yourself up for it. Giving someone space should never be the same as giving up on them.
And he says that you have to love yourself too. I'm not doing this scene justice, so I recommend watching it if you haven't, but this kind of wraps up Ragatha's arc. At the end of the episode, Ragatha and Pomni decide to talk later because their friendship has had a few bumps in the road, and they probably clear some stuff after. In episode 7, Ragatha isn't being overly cheery and positive all the time. It feels like her mask has actually come off, and she's talking like her true self, expressing what's actually on her mind. It seems that Ragatha and Pomni now have a stronger friendship, and I love that at the beach you can see Kinger and Ragatha building a sandcastle in the background. That's just awesome. But yeah, that's a little recap of Ragatha's story. Now on to Purple from Animation vs. Minecraft. Purple first appears in episode 8. In episode 9, he becomes friends with Purple and Green. In AVM 10, he is left with a choice. Either go for the dragon egg, or go and save Green and Blue, who are about to lose their levitation effect and fall into the void and die. And Purple chooses the selfish option, getting the dragon egg. Green and Blue are saved, but they confront Purple, and Purple is taken away by some villagers. But in the League of Legends video, the stick game battles Purple for a bit, but seemingly makes up with him. The gang defeat him in battle, and they see how sad he is, and being the caring crew that they are, decide to be a good sport and give him the benefit of the doubt despite everything he's done, and try and rebuild their friendship, which they seemingly do. And later in AVM episode 21, they see Purple again and are excited, and Purple beckons them to do this parkour course, which the gang does, but it was all a trap. You see, Purple is working with this mysterious villain character called King Orange, who wants the Minecraft icon to put in his staff and get a sheer amount of power, and Purple, who is serving King Orange, is willing to betray his friends in order to accomplish this. Eventually, after a few episodes, Purple snatches the Minecraft icon and hands it over to King Orange, but when he tries to hold the staff with King Orange, like in the picture, like how King Orange said it would happen, King Orange punches Purple down. But despite this, Purple is still loyal and attacks the stick gang. But eventually, after some battle, he is dragged down to the ground, where he sees King Orange and beckons him for help, but King Orange just abandons him, leading to Purple running away and Green chasing after him. Green eventually finds him in this note block world, where through notes he tries to ask him why he abandoned him, but Purple refuses. Green continues pushing, with Purple still blocking him out, before eventually Purple yells, and at the top of the mountain he breaks and decides to tell Green his story. That when he was younger, his father tried to teach him how to fight, but was being a little rough, and Purple couldn't live up to the standard that his father wanted him to. And with Purple's mother being on his side, Purple's father decided to abandon the family. After Purple's mother died, Purple was all alone, but he still wanted to try and make his father proud. That is why he got the dragon egg. He wanted to show his potential, but obviously that didn't work out. And that is when Purple found King Orange. He saw the flyers against the stick gang that King Orange put up, and Purple was ready to abandon his friendship with the color gang because he saw a father figure in King Orange and wanted to do his best to impress him. That is why he tricked and captured the color gang. But with all that work and all that effort, Purple realized that King Orange never cared about Purple. Even though Purple did so much and got him the Minecraft icon, Purple was used and left abandoned and forgotten. Green then comforts him and gives him some advice, saying that people aren't just good and aren't just bad, and that they still can be friends again. Green hugs him and Purple hugs back. They are now friends again and are ready to take on King Orange, who now has a black hole creating staff, by the way. And so they battle King Orange, but he is incredibly powerful and knocks all the stick gang down. But Purple decides to challenge him. He pushes for the beam as much as he can, but it is simply incredibly strong and too powerful. But King Orange himself sees Gold, who is his son. He sees his son in Purple, and when Purple starts to fly away from how powerful the beam is, King Orange sees his son the day he died and decides to drop his staff and chase after Purple, eventually getting sucked away in the beam with Purple into this void area where he sees his house. King Orange then sees on the wall an animation showing Minecraft taking his son, but then King Orange becoming enraged and attacking Minecraft, letting out all his anger, wanting it destroyed because it took away his son. But now through his actions, he was hurting others, hurting people like Purple, who all this time had become a son to him. King Orange, wanting this to stop, bangs on the wall until eventually he breaks through and sees Purple sitting on the ground. And so King Orange runs to him, with Purple seeing his father in him, the father that he's always wanted, and King Orange hugs him, with Purple hugging back. And at the end of the episode, Purple makes up with the rest of the color gang and goes off with King Orange. Now, while Ragatha and Purple are two very different characters, you might be seeing some really interesting parallels between them. Both of these characters had a rough backstory with a parent that wasn't the best, one that kind of morphed them into the character they are today, one that feels like they need to work for someone else's friendship, and having a very askewed look at unconditional love, not really understanding the concept. They feel like they need to change themselves and do stuff for other people to try and earn their affection, not because they're being selfish, but because they want what they lacked. Ragatha feels the need to be overly positive and supportive, but in doing so, it felt like she was putting on a mask and being a character, and that no one could really know who she was. And with Purple, it felt that he needed to do something significant, whether that was getting the dragon egg or getting the Minecraft icon. It felt like he had to work for someone's love. But eventually, these two characters would break down and explain and rant about their circumstances, and the mentor character would sit and listen and then talk to said character and give their advice and help explain to them that they didn't need to be this fabrication of what they thought they needed to be. And it helps Ragatha and Purple, helping their arc kinda come to an end. It's really interesting, and I thought I'd share this comparison between these two characters. Maybe I'll make more of these videos in the future. Hey, if you want to see that, then maybe subscribe to my channel. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Extractalore or King Boba Fett, and I make videos about stuff on YouTube. So if that's something you're interested in, then maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. I mainly talk about indie shows, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, maybe you'll like this video on the screen right here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.